This is the Dave and Shecky Show. We got this groovy podcast for ya. Reviewing crazy tunes or quoting Twain and Sting and Dune. We'll bring ideas to share like bonus points for extra flair, cause it's the frickin' Dave and Shecky Show. This is the Dave and Shecky Show. We're bringing you this groovy review. We might preview movies, bake some bread, or drink some smoothies. So come on, have way too much caffeine. You roll up some rivers, I'll reference some Raffy. This is the Dave and Shecky Show.
3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Hey everyone, it's us. We're back for another episode of the Dave and Shecky super terrific podcast.
Middle-aged cool kids.
Oh, it's middle-aged cool
Super
kids.
terrific podcast.
It is middle-aged.
Featuring your pals, Dave and Shecky.
That's exactly right. Pardon me. Pardon me for not recalling the name of our podcast. I think this is our third podcast.
Grey Poupon. Is this the 7th podcast, I thought?
No, this is the 8th episode, but I mean, we've done podcasts, so I think this is the third podcast.
Oh.
And what?
I said, oh.
So, okay. Anyway, for this special episode of the Middle-Aged Cool Kids podcast, we are doing something. Let me just start it this way. Dave goes on YouTube and listens to music, and he uses the autoplay feature. I don't know why. I never do. It's one of those things I turn off immediately, like autocorrect. I want no part of this Japanese voodoo.
What, just because I like Ainsley Dunbar, you don't think I want to hear Don't Stop Believing, the next fucking track?
Is that
you
what happened?
losers? What is this, Pandora? Get a clue, you computerized morons.
But you can turn it off. You have the power to just flip the switch.
I know, but then sometimes my hands are full. Every 2 seconds I got to run back to the thing and put on the next song.
All right.
Sometimes I want to play some music like in the old days.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so the other day he comes up to me. I'm in the living room, and he's like, you gotta listen to this. And he starts playing excerpts from Paul Stanley's audiobook, Face the Music. Now, Dave, I don't know how this came up in your autoplay because you are not a Kiss fan at all.
Nope, not a Kiss fan, but I am a fan of music.
You are a fan?
And I'm a fan, and the other stuff I listen to is talk radio.
So you think somehow they put that together? Because I don't... Are you ever listening to Kiss on YouTube, like, non-ironically?
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Isn't that something? Because I did listen to Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley?
Yes, Frehley.
Paul
I was
Daniel
freely listening to Ace Frehley. And so they must think that, since he likes Ace Frehley, he obviously wants to hear Paul Stanley go off at complete nonsense like he's the king of the world. So apparently I'm supposed to be intrigued by Paul Stanley. Well, I actually was. I listened for hours to Paul Stanley.
Yes, we have both been listening to Paul Stanley's audiobook, which is widely available on YouTube. We've been listening to it, and
he's a better talker than he is singer.
But you know what? He's a terrible talker.
He's a terrible talker. So whatever that tells you.
Okay, first of all, let's start off with this. I have been a huge Kiss fan since the mid-'70s. I'm right in that age group where, I was 10 in 5th grade in 77, and, everybody in my school was into Kiss, and Kiss was and will always be the first band that I just dove into as a kid. It was my first musical obsession. What was your first musical obsession?
The Beach Boys and the Beatles.
See, you had a more refined taste than me, but I mean, I was all in, buying Kiss books, Kiss comic books, Kiss patches, Kiss this, Kiss that. the records, the albums, the posters. I had them all. And as we're listening to this Paul Stanley audiobook, Face the Music, you know, he'll start a chapter with like a group of words that mean nothing to Dave, but I'll be like, oh, those are lyrics from this song. And it makes it even more absurd. So Paul Stanley basically, from what I can garner, he is an egomaniac. Would you say that's correct?
I think that goes without saying.
You think? Oh, you do? Because it's a lead singer egomania.
Well, he's Paul Stanley.
He is.
It's
Paul
like,
Stanley.
look, he's not. It's just, Paul Stanley. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But Paul Stanley, you know, is one of the classic leaders of bands in rock music. You know, you got to put him. You got to put him in the top 20, and so that's in there with the Rolling Stones.
Wait.
Although his music is completely farcical and it's an illusion and it's not real, he has conveyed that illusion, and he's influenced more people than he should have.
Wow. You know what?
Look,
That
listen,
he's in
let me
your
just
top
get this
20
out
of
the way.
anything.
The Coventry 73.
Okay.
The playing and the singing, that band should have never kept going.
Are you serious?
I don't know. Did they start that, or was that already happening?
Did they start that?
Did they start that horrible, like, no dynamic, out of tune, overly loud, bombastic nonsense? Did they start it, or was it already happening? Because I grew up dealing with that shit, and if you'd ever go to like Kenny's Castaways or any club like that, you'd have to sit in on these fucking rock drum sets, and it was like this rock mentality. And I don't know, did they start it, or was it just that's what happened to music because everything became shit?
Maybe they. I'm trying to think. In that 73, what was also happening in the?
I mean, I just don't know. It's just like I think everyone did so many drugs. The acid turned to heroin. The cocaine turned to heroin, a combo, and the music got just rank and loud and abusive.
I mean, we the one of the other great things about YouTube is that as Paul Stanley is talking about his first gig at Coventry in 1973, I can hit pause on Paul Stanley, and then we can bring up, because it's there, the Coventry 1973 gig he's talking about is there, videotaped. So it's amazing that we can kind of A/B this.
His vocals are so bad. That should have stayed in the rehearsal studio on a cassette. And then they realize it's not worth putting live. You got to go beyond that.
See, this is
what a shenanigan. The makeup, what the fuck, man?
See, this is where Dave and I are
God.
going to disagree, because in my mind, I was amazed listening to it. The vocals are terrible. He's absolutely right about that. There's a lot of screaming. I just figured, they don't know what they're doing.
The guitar's out of tune.
I can't tell.
The only thing that sounds good is the drums, and he's supposed to be the worst part of the band.
That's
the hell?
The other thing. Okay, so first of all, I love the Coventry. It is very raw. But there's something amazing as a Kiss fan, as an old school Kiss fan, about hearing Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, begging the crowd to sign up for their mailing list. That to me is just mind blowing.
All right, they didn't start it.
Mailing list.
They are imitating.
Yeah.
They are imitating Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath.
Oh, you were talking about
that
loud
stuff.
shit? Yeah.
Yeah, because look, I just thought there's the bootleg recordings of Van Halen from the clubs. From what, 74, 73?
Not 73, 74, 75.
Within a year of that Kiss stuff.
Right.
So this was happening all over the country.
It was a sound.
It was a sound that lent itself to hacks.
Look,
out of that sound came that whole hair metal thing.
Eventually, yeah. See, okay, so we're getting ahead.
Far cry from fucking real music, in my opinion.
So this is now you're hearing Dave has a clear disdain for Kiss. And that's why it was so amazing to me that this popped up on his autoplay, because he is the worst person for this to happen to. But I'm the best person for this to happen to because I have invested so much time and money.
I know a lot more Kiss than the average person who doesn't like Kiss, I think.
Yeah, but
Look,
is that because of me?
I remember the Kiss Army. I was 10 years old when Kiss Army was an option.
There you go.
At 10, I bypassed Kiss Army. See, I went to private school with a bunch of snobby assholes.
Oh, see, he's better than me. He's the elite.
We saw past Kiss and went right to Led Zeppelin.
Well, there you go. That's fine, dude. That's fine. But we're not doing a podcast about Led Zeppelin.
I know, but it's just my God.
Okay, so back to the Coventry 1973 gig. Other than them, and this is on video, so if you want to check it out, the video is not great, but
was that Portapack?
There was some new video technology. I did a documentary about Buzzy Linhart and the people who there were a group of people.
A lot of parallels there.
Well,
a lot of parallels.
There are people who videotaped his early stuff. I believe are the same people that videotaped the early Kiss stuff. It was like a group of people in New York who were early videophiles, and they had this machine, and it was not a video camera, and it was something they had to literally wear. So
that same technology was used to capture Band of Gypsies. That's all on the black and white videos too.
There you go. Yeah, it's all any stuff you see from that era. I think is this same group of people. Anywho, if you watch the video, there's like a chick dancing in the front, and you can't help but see a young Paul Stanley, just like he's like trying to sing and play, but at the same time he's leering at her because he clearly is trying to get her attention. It's just funny for me to see these guys as kids, as a kid band. Peter not so much was a kid. Ace was definitely a kid, but if you're a Kiss fan of any magnitude, it will be a great video for you to see. If you're not a Kiss fan, it's also probably a great video for you to see because the singing is awful. However, the set list, the songs, I've seen Kiss more than I've seen any other band, and I've seen the Grateful Dead 20 times. So the songs, the arrangements never changed. Not once in like 50 years have these arrangements changed, and it's insane to see that. Like they played it and it worked in 1973, and clearly they gave no thought to ever changing anything up. Stuff like Deuce and Strutter. It's all there on that first concert. It's really amazing for me to watch because I'm like, holy shit, they haven't changed anything. And if you've gone to a Kiss concert more than once, you'll know that Paul has the same preamble to every song. Like if you go to a Kiss concert today, he's going to say the same thing in front of Love Gun that he's going to say tomorrow, that he said 3 years ago, that he'll say 10 years from now. So it's kind of like that. It's like these dudes were like, okay, this works. I'm never changing it. And it's kind of shocking to see. Some of the songs they don't play anymore, but the ones that they do sound exactly the same, except, maybe tuned instruments and better vocals. But I thought that was interesting. But let's get back to his book. What do you take from just what he's saying?
What do you mean?
Other than he's an egomaniac, I mean, everything happens to him or because of him. It's one of those things. And he is in a position where he's made tons of money, but he still takes every opportunity to shit on Peter Criss that he can.
Hey, he doesn't like Peter Criss. I don't know. He seems to have never liked him. I guess Peter Criss was very abusive in his opinion. I think he resents Peter Criss because Paul had the ability to hold his shit together and not abuse what was coming to him. And Peter Criss was an alcoholic drug addict who deteriorated into a lunatic. So he's resentful. At the same time, he's childish. I I can't imagine. What good comes from him airing all his dirty laundry in an audiobook? Like,
Yes.
what is he just trying to make history understand that Peter Criss is a bad guy?
See, this is the thing. He shits on Peter Criss literally every chance he gets, and he speaks about how how they audition people for the band. Peter Criss got the audition. Peter Criss got the job. If he was as terrible as Paul tries to make him out for the rest of the book, then why would you even say yes to him? You had people. They talk about when Ace Frehley did his audition that there was a ton of people that showed up.
Who the fuck are they auditioning? What the?
No, it's New York City.
I know. Why? What is this?
What do you mean? That's what they did. There were two guys. Who do you think they were going to get?
I don't know.
Okay, so
how about someone who's in tune?
Well, this is this is how little they knew about music, but anyway, Paul Stanley's
got a lot of nerve. He's worse than Peter Criss. He can't sing or play guitar better than Peter Criss plays drums.
No, he cannot.
He's not better.
He's not better.
The recordings prove that.
And this is the thing. I think Paul is just, like you said, he didn't do drugs. He wasn't a crazy alcoholic. And I feel like he feels like he needs to be rewarded more than Peter Criss.
The only thing that they the makeup must be the only thing that made them successful. I think without the makeup they would have just went off into oblivion.
You don't like those songs at all.
The makeup is what attracted Bill Aucoin.
Yes.
And the theatrical aspect. And without Bill Aucoin, they would have never made it. They wouldn't have made it. They wouldn't have made it like they made it. They couldn't get a record deal. They couldn't get anything. They had to book their own clubs.
Yes.
They had to book their own gigs and invite people and pretend that they were the headlining act. It's all a big con. It's all deception. And somehow the music didn't matter. At that point in the 70s, the music didn't matter. Clearly. The people who signed Kiss, Neil Bogart, what's it? Bogart.
Don't Bogart that Neil.
He worked with quality artists. He had musicians. You can say what you want about the bubblegum factory shit or whatever it's called. But there's plenty of musicians and bands on Buddha Records that were in a whole nother league. They were real musicians.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lovin' Spoonful.
There you go.
They're not jokes. There's the difference between Bob Dylan and Gene Simmons, even though Gene Simmons doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
There just is. And somehow the line got blurred, the coke got really extraordinary, and something took over other than music that made this allowable. It's insane. It's the same thing, that reason that disco took over from funk. It's all excess. And the music is not. I don't understand how you have generations of people who just think this is great. How do you think this leads to Guns N' Roses? And Guns N' Roses is better than Kiss musically, but it's like brain dead compared to what it used to be 10 years before.
Well, maybe it's coming back around.
No, nothing's coming around.
Oh, all right. Well,
it peaked with Quadrophenia.
Yes, Dave loves The Who and the Kinks. So,
Yuck. Ray Davies coming out with a new album with the Kinks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. But they're in their mid-70s now. So
are the Stones.
I know, but the Kinks, that very name, the Kinks, it was like, taboo.
All right.
Now it's, ugh. I think he's waited too long.
Well, I mean,
tell that to Mick Avery. The new album's coming out. He's dead. He's the drummer.
Oh.
The bass player, gone. You got a new Kinks album. Who's in your rhythm section?
Kiss podcast.
Maybe you should fucking hire Peter Criss.
There you go.
The fuck?
All right, bringing it back. Thanks, Dave. So, at one point in his book here, first of all, Paul Stanley when you read the words, they might be fine, but when he's speaking them, he has all the inflection of roadkill. It's just not there.
Oh man, he's like a high school kid who's been asked to stand up in front of the class and read his book report.
It's terrible. It is terrible, and it gets me giggling immediately.
Why can we listen for hours if it's so bad?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
See, he's a compelling man, that guy. There's a reason Kiss made it.
Yeah.
You see, he should have just put out books all along. He could be an author like fucking Spalding Gray or something.
R.I.P. Spalding Gray. So at one point he says that he took Peter Criss to Starbucks, and Peter Criss was raving about the biscotti because he's so uncultured and uneducated that
never had a
biscotti before. And it's just like,
don't tell biscotti.
Don't tell biscotti. Biscotti doesn't know. I can't imagine that Peter Criss, an Italian, Chris is short for Criscula. I can't imagine that he never knew what a biscotti was. I can't imagine any Italian on the East Coast, in the New York, New Jersey area, doesn't know what a fucking biscotti is. But there's Paul Stanley, fucking just shitting on Peter Criss, just shitting on that guy. That guy who fucking sang their most popular song for many years. Beth was the most popular Kiss song. Everyone knew it.
Maybe he's an asshole.
Who, Peter Criss?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe everybody's an asshole, though.
I'm just saying, maybe I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Even if he's an asshole, then just say he became an asshole, or he became a lazy player in the later years. But Paul Stanley's trying to say that Peter Criss was sucked from the beginning. And it's just like, well, if he sucked from the beginning, why was he in the band? Why did you guys get signed? Why did you make so much money? Why did Alive become the hugest live record of, not of all time, but probably in your top 20 list? It's got to be up there.
Paul Stanley recollects things as if he had no control over his own destiny at all. He had no control over his daily actions. Not much less Peter Criss. He couldn't control the fact that he wore a frilly purple shirt on a MTV shoot. Peter Criss didn't tell him to do that.
No, he did not. And it just, look, Paul Stanley.
Then again, he says Peter Criss is a lunatic, like, complaining about everything. The air conditioning's too hot, the air conditioning's too cold, the room's too far down the hall, so maybe he was just a complete nightmare to be with.
Then again, just fire his ass. There's you're in New York City, home of 8 million drummers, I'm sure.
He did fire him. But for some reason, he feels the need to completely trash him in an audio recording. They fired him. Why isn't that enough?
And, so far, I've been listening. It's kind of in chronological order. And he says that they did the solo albums, the famous Kiss solo albums, because Ace wanted to quit the band. He wanted to do something else. And so he said that they did the solo albums to try to give Ace something else to do, but still keep it under the Kiss umbrella. Do you recall that?
Yep. I like Ace. I like Ace's solo career.
Ace's solo career, but Ace's solo album is hands down the most popular, and it has the most popular song out of all of them, right?
Yep. What's that? New York Groove?
Back in the New York Groove. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty popular.
That song is a classic.
Doesn't sound like Kiss, that's for sure.
No, but
see, it just goes to show you that Ace is better than Kiss.
Yeah, well, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is that why did Ace want to leave the band? So far, I have not heard Paul Stanley tell the story about Gene Simmons trying to get Eddie Van Halen to replace Ace. And that's a story that those guys...
I just heard Bill Coyne tell on recording that was absolutely not the case.
That it wasn't the case.
Nope. That, I don't know, let's see. He just said no. He said that wasn't the case, but I don't know.
I have heard from one of the horse's mouths that was absolutely the case. And that
Sammy Hagar?
No. And that he went in as a spoiler, and that Gene was unhappy that he had gone in as a spoiler. So I think that's probably why Ace wanted to leave the band. I think he got wind, not of who, but that they might have been trying to get somebody else.
Maybe. I'm not sure about that.
Look at Bill Aucoin.
Bill Aucoin says
yes,
that in 1977,
yes,
Ted Templeton,
yes, Templeton
wanted to work with Van Halen,
yes,
in the studio, but wanted to replace Dave at that time with Sammy Hagar in 77.
Who said that? Bill Aucoin?
Bill Aucoin said Ted Templeman told him that, and that Bill Aucoin was totally surprised that was the case. Now, Bill Aucoin may or may not be a reliable source because he was a fiend.
He was a fiend. And it's so funny, as when I was growing up, reading my books about Kiss, of course I knew who Bill Aucoin was forever. Here's this guy that helped make Kiss this fucking huge act. And then I had a friend who was working at the Unique Recording Studio in New York City. And
did he get shot at?
Did he get shot at?
I don't know. Everyone was getting shot at Unique.
Did somebody get their balls?
It wasn't Unique to get a bullet near you.
Yeah, Unique was terrible. And I do remember at one point having to go into, there was a room right behind there's the reception area, and then there was like a really large room behind the reception area. And I remember that there were times where you'd have to hide in that room. I wasn't sure why, but they had some unsavories going on doing business in the Unique recording studio. But anyway, I was there with my friend who was the receptionist, intern. He did a little bit of everything, engineering guy. And he's like, oh, Bill Aucoin's coming in. And I was floored. I was floored, A, that my friend knew who Bill Aucoin was, and B, that he was coming in. And this was probably 95, 96. So my, maybe even a little earlier. No, 95, 94. So I wasn't, when
Did
there
Bill
was...
Aucoin do Chrysalis Records?
Did Bill Aucoin do Chrysalis?
I think so.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. But he came in. I had... My interest in Kiss had waned when there was no Peter and no Ace, so I no longer was a diehard fan. But, the name Bill Aucoin came up, and I was like, holy shit, here he comes. And he came flying in, and literally, I couldn't even ask him anything because he was so into my friend. He was just flirting with him, and he, I guess he thought my friend was a good-looking guy. And he was just all over him. And it was kind of like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I won't ask him any Kiss questions because he's clearly trying to get my friend to go on a date with him. So it was kind of a letdown. I was expecting one thing and just got this really flirty dude instead.
It's all fucking snake oil.
It is all snake oil, and it's funny because Paul Stanley, he shits on Peter Criss the most, but he also shits on Gene, and he was like, I had to tell Gene that I knew Bill was gay, and was he okay with it? Somehow Paul Stanley's some progressive dude in the 70s. No one cared if you were gay in the 70s in New York City. No one gave a shit. No one was going to say, no, I don't want to work with you because you're gay. But then there is Paul injecting that into his book like he's, some sort of, I don't know, enlightened individual.
Well, he's Paul Stanley.
See, you just think this is he's somehow a lead singer and that's the way they are.
Hard rock lead singer, yes. Yes, I do.
Really? Okay. Well, I have not been in any bands. I've only been around a few. And
look, this is the problem.
Yes.
This is not a enlightened genre.
Oh.
It's a meathead genre. It's a genre that Frank Zappa made fun of. And it does not lend itself to enlightened thinking. It's not a higher level.
So let me just...
That's why every time they play it's the same. That's why they have to sit that's why they had to sit Ace Frehley down to teach him his licks. Because Ace Frehley is a musician who likes to improvise and make music. He doesn't want to recreate a fucking circus that he performed 20 years ago. It's the opposite of happening.
Yes.
Look, Jaco Pastorius and Gene Simmons both played bass. How was that possible? There's almost like two different species. It's almost like it's like alien and human. I don't understand how it's almost as if they should be called different instruments.
Okay. So, all right, I get where you're coming from.
It's nauseating.
I understand, but you are also calling people like me meathead.
I know you're not a meathead.
On this day of my birth.
No, it's not that. It's just...
See, this is the thing. You just put me in a basket of deplorables. This is the problem.
AC/DC.
See, this is Dave. Dave likes a complex musical experience. He likes the jazz. He likes there's some stuff we both like, maybe not for the same reason, but there's more stuff that I will listen to and he'll be like almost to the point of Hulk level enragement that I'm listening to it and or enjoying it. The Kiss, those songs, that first couple of albums, I like those songs. They're rocking. They're not difficult to bounce my head to. They're easy to learn the lyrics to. And it's just like, yeah, okay, she's worth a deuce. Whatever that means, she's worth it. I don't know. Maybe she's worth a second time. Maybe it's really dirty. I don't fucking know.
It's terrible.
But
it hurts me.
It does hurt you. It physically hurts them. You can see
Deep Purple was good. They got a real drummer. They got a real singer. They got a real guitar player and a real bass player. They're the real thing.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe there's a behind the scenes game that Kiss played.
Ian Gillan kicks fucking ass. That's not jazz. That's a fucking singer.
Okay.
David Coverdale sings his ass off.
Yes. Still.
But Paul Stanley, man, he's fucking screaming and yelping like a lunatic, and it's all out of key and frenetic, and it never got better.
It didn't get better. Well, the Coventry, if you go on 1973 Coventry Kiss gig, you'll see that it is really bad. It's bad. And Gene and Paul singing is really bad. It's very screamy and in
Paul
no
Stanley
way pleasant.
Makes David Lee Roth sound like he can sing. Unbelievable.
Anywho, the singing is bad. Paul Stanley's voice, as they got more popular and their equipment got better and all of this other shit, the singing became passable, and then it just became, well, maybe his singing isn't great, but that's his style. And it's the same with Gene, you know. Neither of them are Sinatra level singers, but you just were like, okay, that's the style.
Who's playing guitar on Kiss Alive on My Love is Larger Than Life? What's that called?
My love is larger than life.
What's that one? Is that called Larger Than Life?
Is it? I think it is.
Well, is that the one that has the hard, pretty rockin' beat on it? To me, it doesn't sound like Chris or Ace Frehley on that track.
No, maybe it's not.
Jesus Christ, it sounds like Anton Fig and fucking Vinnie Vincent.
Oh, Vinnie Vincent?
I don't know. I mean, that shit's... How is it that room recording there sounds better than anything, and that's a live recording?
No, Kiss Alive didn't have a lot of live stuff.
I think there's shenanigans afloat.
The Kiss Alive stuff had... The songs were the bass, but then they just layered on a whole bunch of shit to make it even sound better.
If that's aced on that guitar solo, I don't know. He sounds real good there.
It might be Bruce Kulick. I don't know. But Ace does sound good. I've seen Ace solo quite a few times.
I like Ace. I'm not going to diss Ace. Ace is the real deal.
Ace is back, and he told you so.
Rock Soldiers, you know.
Dude, that's a song.
Trouble Walking, all that stuff.
I'm telling you.
I like all that Ace stuff. Look, I'm not a Kiss fan, but I like Ace. I'm not an idiot. I like Aldo Nova.
What does that mean?
I'm just kidding. Aldo Nova was like when MTV first came out. They played Aldo Nova videos. Why? I have no idea.
Is that a band?
Yeah, Aldo Nova.
Who the fuck are they?
They had like, headlights in a warehouse on one video. Look it up. Aldo Nova, 1981.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Triumph. They played Triumph too.
That's all right.
MTV was really fucking looking for rock videos.
Look at Dave with the elitist rich kid was one of those who actually had MTV in 1981.
I came back from summer camp and we had MTV. Whoopee.
Anyway, Ace Frehley is, I think, he's my favorite for sure. Cold Gin.
Yeah, come on. It's
Rocket
Ace,
Ride.
Ace, fucking Gene, Peter Criss, and then Paul. That's how it goes.
Oh, really?
For me, yeah.
You like Gene better than Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why is that?
Yeah, me and him have a lot in common.
Oh, because he's part of the tribe?
Hungarian Jews.
Yeah, they're okay. Hungarian Jews. All right. Well, that's that can't be the reason why you like him better than Peter Criss.
No, but I just, look, Gene Simmons is an asshole, but he's pretty successful at being an asshole. He started out an asshole. That was his goal, and he has maintained.
Okay, well, there you go. So he's a 10 out of 10 success rate at being an asshole.
What was he, married to Cher?
No,
He dated Cher? Do they have a kid together?
No, but they have a song together.
Well, that works.
That song is on his solo album. It is called Living in Sin at the Holiday Inn. And if we can quickly talk about the solo albums, once again...
Ozone. That's Ace, right?
Ace, yeah.
That's a good tune.
Listen, the solo albums, these are the albums that had their faces on them. Ace's solo album, best one, hands down. For me, the second best solo album was, in fact, Peter Criss. Couldn't sleep at all last night.
Oh, what a cheese bot.
He was singing some good old-fashioned bluesy rock shit.
Peter Criss thinks he's Keith Moon or something.
He does not.
What? Keith Moon loved the Beach Boys.
Yeah, but I Couldn't Sleep at all last night was not a Beach Boy song.
I know, but on his Keith Moon solo album, he played, he sang all these absurd covers.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe he was an homage. I don't know. But I know that I enjoyed Peter Criss's solo album second. Ace Frehley far and away the best. 10 out of 10 for me.
I can't listen to Paul.
No, Paul's is so schlocky and cheesy. It's just terrible.
I recall the Gene Simmons one having one or two good songs on it. See,
okay, first of all, it's Living in Sin at the Holiday Inn, and the other one...
Did Bob Ezrin produce these things?
The other one is... When you wish upon
No, that's really good.
Oh my God.
He's a talented guy.
It's hysterical. So, again, I know a lot about these records. I know a lot about Kiss up until about 1982, 83. And then I'm like, nope, out the dizzy. But when Paul is talking in this audiobook, he will bring up like lyrics of his songs as if they were really deep and really meaningful.
Are we talking about Paul or Michael Savage?
Paul Stanley, not Michael Savage. Paul Savage. You have to just, give it a listen for 5 minutes. It's really terrible. His inflection is bad.
What's his real name? Like Stanley Eisenstein or something?
Stanley Eisen.
Now that's a name.
Stanley Eisen.
He should have been Eisen the Prize. That's his solo project.
Eisen the Prize?
Eisen the Prize.
Zin. Eisen the Prizen.
Scheisen.
Anyway, so I feel like, and we haven't listened to the whole thing, it's literally like eight plus hours of him reading.
Apparently Peter Criss has a very large penis.
That's the other thing. He talks about, he's really obsessed with
penises.
He's obsessed with, he's like, well, on the first day I met Peter Criss, he told me he had a 9-inch penis. Okay.
What do you say to that? You say, next.
Yeah.
Next drummer, please.
Exactly.
Perhaps a guy who has some drumsticks and not a penis.
If this dude made you uncomfortable...
He didn't say it made him uncomfortable.
No, but...
He was intrigued.
No, he didn't say he was intrigued, but he was like, okay. Like, even when he goes, okay, because he wrote it, and he's doing the audiobook, and he says, okay.
Did you get...
It is the worst okay I've ever heard.
Did you get to the part where he dishes Slash?
Oh, I think you played me. You played me some of the stuff out of order. I'm trying to listen to it in order.
Oh, that's delightful.
When he doesn't like Slash. He doesn't like many people. He's very judgy.
Yes.
Very judgy.
He's like homeless people. Very judgmental. You know, look in the mirror. You're homeless.
Have you been judged by a homeless person?
No, but Colin says he has.
Aw.
Well, no, it's not. It's their assholes.
Aw, I'm sorry,
fucking homeless. Look at you. You're homeless.
And you
Stop
stink.
Judging.
And you probably have poop in your pants. Anyway, so Paul Stanley, as an audiobook, this is one of those things that's very MST3K to me. I like things that are terrible. I find some sort of entertainment value in awful things. Like, I probably enjoyed Murder Cycle more than you did, but for, weird reasons.
I enjoyed Murder Cycle.
You did?
But, it is what it is.
What did you enjoy more, Murder Cycle or Paul Stanley's book?
Paul Stanley's book.
All right, well, there's something. And what did you enjoy about Paul Stanley's book thus far?
Well, look, here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
I can weed through Paul Stanley's nonsense and still gain some knowledge from it.
Like what? What's something that you learned?
Just stuff about
Ezra,
people who have
Bob
been
Ezra?
in successful bands, how bands work, what they've discovered. It just reaffirms or enlightens me to certain things.
Right.
You pick through his ego and his side of the story, and you can see some of the stuff he has knowledge. It's not like he's an idiot.
Right.
He's just an asshole.
Yes.
But he's definitely intelligent. There's a reason Kiss is as successful as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just Bill Aucoin. And it's really, it's Gene and Paul are the reason that Kiss exists. Without it, I don't think the work ethic of Ace or Peter Criss is up to the same standard as those two. I don't think so at all.
Right.
And it's not a coincidence that they're both not big drug addicts like the other two. It's also not a coincidence that the Jews, because the Jews are not addicts like these fucking animals.
All right. So
okay? All you animals out there, get it together. Bowling for behave.
The Jewish supremacy reigns supreme.
No, proof is in the pudding. We can
what?
have a good time, but, show some fucking reserve.
You heard me.
Jesus Christ. You got to shoot up all your fucking profits? Put some in the bank. Save some for later, Ike.
Oh, my God.
Jesus fucking Christ. There's a reason Paul and Gene are successful. It's their fucking Jewish heritage.
All right.
Now, blame me if you want, but it's fucking true.
All right. So, you're saying that...
what is Ace Frehley? Is he Irish?
Yes, I believe...
Well, he drinks like he's fucking Irish.
I believe Frehley is an Irish name.
Stop drinking so much, you fucking cliched lunatic.
Well, listen, Ace Frehley was a bad boy, and he had, I believe...
We're all bad boys.
No, you are
Jews
not
are bad deviantly sexual, and the Irish are alcoholics. So, Anthony Weiner and fucking Ace Frehley should meet up, and they can be deviant together in different ways.
All right. Anyway, Anthony Weiner is a pedophile.
Yeah, exactly. If he was Irish, he'd be an alcoholic.
No.
He's a fiend.
Okay.
It manifests in its own generic way.
David.
Yeah.
Being a pedophile is in no way equal to being an alcoholic.
No. I'm just saying. Look at Harvey Weinstein.
All right.
You said... look at these Jews. They're deviant sexually.
Who said that?
I don't know. It's been said.
Said that? You just said I said that.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I just say, people say this. About Woody Allen.
Yeah, well, Woody Allen is a disgusting pervert.
Okay, Portnoy's Complaint. Like, that's a book about a deviant Jew. It basically started, the acceptance of odd sexuality amongst Jews.
In Lolita, are they Jews? Are the guys
no,
Jews?
No, that is not. No.
How do you know?
No, that's not Jews.
Okay. Are you sure?
Or is Quilty a Jew?
I don't know.
An English Jew.
The old English Jew.
I'm just saying.
Bob's your uncle.
We all got our problems. And and Gene and Paul's problem is not drug abuse.
No, I would say Gene and Paul's problems were never drug abuse.
Look, it's not a coincidence that Gene Simmons, his vice has been women his whole life. He conquers women. That's what he does. And then he ended up with an adult TV star or film star.
Soft.
Yeah, but
porn.
that's him. It's almost as if, I don't know.
I don't think he deserves her.
Gene Simmons winding up with Shannon Tweed is like Ace Frehley winding up with, the heiress to the Budweiser fucking company.
Oh, I see.
They're not straying far from their comfort zone.
I see.
Gene Simmons likes women. Ace likes to drink. That's what it is.
Yeah. All right. Dave loves the Jews. If you didn't,
I don't love them. I'm just trying to see things clearly. That's all.
Dave loves the Jews, and he, once in a while he will like an Italian, which
I
is
like
mostly
the Italians. I like the Scottish.
You like Gavin McInnes.
I got my best friend Scottish.
Oh, that's right.
There's Irish people I like. I like all kinds of people, but we all got our idiosyncrasies.
All right. Well, so anyway, Ace Frehley was kicked out of 3 high schools.
Well, that's no surprise.
No. So I mean, he was starting his career as a ne'er-do-well quite early in life.
Look, he's a rock and roll hero.
He is a rock and roll hero. I'm glad that you can at least admit that.
I like Ace.
I love Ace.
The thing about the Kiss is like Paul Stanley seems to idolize the Dolls or something. The Dolls? The New York Dolls?
Yes.
That's what you look up to? Fucking transvestites who can't even play their instruments? Okay.
That was interesting, but I mean, he also mentioned one of my other favorite bands. Slade. I love Slade. And then he said that he I guess they were on tour with Slade, and he said he went to go talk to him in his hotel room. And Noddy Holder, the lead singer of Slade, was just deliriously
drunk.
He
was literally naughty.
He was deliriously drunk and horizontal. So I think that this is the thing. Paul has
he's like a child.
He is like a child, and this is what happens. The people that you idolize are just people, and it was kind of like when I worked on the Stern Show. I idolized Howard Stern. Idolized him. I love that motherfucker. And then when you work there, you realize, and you become disenchanted, and it's in no way Howard Stern's fault or Noddy Holder's fault, but you start speaking to them on a daily basis, even if it's just a little, conversation here and there about pens or the phone or whatever, and he's just a person.
How about Joe Walsh?
Joe Walsh
smelled like beer.
Joe Walsh smelled like beer at 6 a.m. And
stale beer.
But you know what? He was
a gentleman.
No. I mean, he wasn't not a gentleman, but he was not even if he smelled like beer, he was not
belligerent.
He didn't seem like he was
an asshole.
He was affected by liquor in any way that was detrimental to his performance.
Joe Walsh is a true artist.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to say anything bad about Joe Walsh.
Let me tell you something. Joe Walsh can sing circles around Paul Stanley, play guitars or circles around Ace Frehley. He could probably play drums better than Peter Criss and bass better than fucking Gene Simmons. Joe Walsh is a one-man Kiss. Joe Walsh gave the goddamn fucking Telecaster to Jimmy Page that he plays on fucking Stairway to Heaven. All right? Case closed.
Jimmy Page had a 14-year-old locked in his hotel room.
Locked? I think she had the key.
Dude.
Locked mentally, perhaps.
14.
I'm just saying.
I'm not a big fan of pedophilia.
I'm a big fan of Jimmy Page.
Okay. So you can imagine how our conversations go here in the house. They're quite...
If I could have Jimmy Page and Peter Townsend over, I would have them over in a second, and I would let them babysit.
No, you wouldn't, because those would be my children, and
I don't have any kids. That's why I can say that.
I wouldn't even let them alone with Maggie.
I would let them sit on a baby.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh. Maybe they
Okay.
can have a... Never mind.
So just so you know, you're only going to hear an hour of this. This goes on pretty much every waking moment.
Have you heard the overture? The Quadrophenia overture? Oh my God. Now that is music.
What is your favorite Kiss song? Do you have a favorite Kiss song, or do you hate them all?
My favorite Kiss song is, I think maybe Shock Me
Okay.
or Larger Than Life because of that guitar and drums.
So you've been listening to a lot.
Oh, and then I also like that one Kiss song where they've removed the makeup, so to speak, and it's got a very rocking drum beat. That is not Peter Criss.
No, it's probably Eric Carr.
Yeah, and it's really kind of like in the pocket rocking, man. It's like that Sammy Hagar shit.
Lick It Up is the first one without the makeup.
Yeah, there's one tune in there that's really got a good groove. I'm not sure what it is. I can't remember. It's absurdly slamming.
Lick It Up, or is it Creatures of the Night?
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you drive by the high school if you're Dazed and Confused. No. It's slow and heavy. It's like Drop Dead Legs or something. Like
That's
that kind of
a Van
thing.
Halen song.
I know, but it's got that vibe.
Exciter, Not for the Innocent, Lick It Up, Young and Wasted, Give Me More. All hell's breaking loose.
All right, go to the one before that.
The one before it is the Creatures of the Night.
He's a negite person.
No, okay, that's not nice. You're gonna have to cut that out.
Yeah.
Creatures of the Night. I'm a saint and a sinner.
Wait a second.
The deuces are wild. You're gonna keep me coming.
I think it's I Love It Loud.
Oh yeah, I Love It Loud.
Yeah, has that one got a slow hard rock beat?
No, that's actually the one I started singing to you before, and you were like, "No, that's not it."
No, it's not it then.
Stand up. You don't need to be afraid. Get down.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Love's
one.
like a hurricane.
I think it's that one.
No more. Something. I'm not gonna take
Wait, what's the beat?
it.
Let's hear it a second.
Guilty till I'm proven innocent. Whiplash, heavy metal accident.
I think it's that one. That's it's got a good beat. You can dance to it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
You love this one. This is
like
your
it.
favorite Kiss song.
No,
This is exactly what I sang to you, though, and you're
Oh.
like, "No, that's not it."
I didn't realize.
Look at, he's got his.
I just remember the drums.
Yeah, what was his Eric Carr?
Yeah, I mean, this is as good as it gets, really, as far as they are for me.
All right. Till I'm proven innocent.
Is this Ace?
It's supposed to be. There was a few. I don't see. They're not showing him, so maybe he's not in the video. Look at that. They're purposely not showing a guitarist. There he is. I don't think that's him. You got me hypnotized. I love it. I don't know. Is that
I
him?
don't think it's him.
I mean, he's got a haircut, but it says Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Vinnie Vincent,
Yeah.
and Eric Carr. It said Ace Frehley got credit only.
Well, there you go.
Rock and Roll Hell, Robin Ford.
Really?
Yeah, do you know him?
Something. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Robin Ford's amazing.
Steve Ferris,
Yes, he's familiar, but I can't put him.
Mr.
Okay.
Jimmy Haslip,
Oh, yeah. He's with Robin Ford from the Yellow Jackets. Absurd.
Mike Porcaro.
Toto.
Look at all these people. Adam Mitchell,
Never heard of him.
Canadian reference singer-songwriter, most notable for writing French Waltz, which was a hit for Nicolette Larson.
Oh, Nicolette Larson. Another tie-in.
Michael Japp. Michael Japp?
This one never heard of.
Okay. Well, these are the additional personnel who played guitar and bass on these songs. So at this point,
That's why I like the album. It's fucking got real musicians
it's
on
got
it.
real musicians on it. There you go.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean,
Who produced that one? Ezrin?
Label producer Michael James Jackson, Paul Stanley, and Gene Simmons.
Interesting.
I wonder who that really is. Anyway, so yeah, that's why you like that album. This is the original. Isn't
that something?
The original cover.
They had replaced all the guys by that point.
No, this is just Eric. But this is really Ace Frehley on the cover. They redo the cover like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's
offensive.
not even Vinnie Vincent. No, that's Bruce Kulick. So it might have been Bruce Kulick in the video. I'm not sure.
Bruce Kulick apparently auditioned on the same day as Ace for the band in '73.
And he's got a brother. I forget what his name is, but when I saw Paul did like a solo show at L'Amour, the rock capital of Brooklyn. Bob Kulick, totally bald, shaved bald, and he was his guitarist. So those guys had been friends since the beginning because, yeah, Bruce Kulick is mentioned in the as trying out in the 1970s.
Bob Kulick's his uncle. No, it's not. Bob's not his uncle.
Bob's not his uncle. Bob's his brother. All right. So that's your favorite, your absolute favorite album, I guess, is Creatures of the Night.
Yeah, I mean, either that or Kiss Alive, I guess. But I could never really sit down and listen to that.
No, never. It was never your choice when you're in the car driving to the Jersey Shore.
Honestly, the guys at Casablanca, I think they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I don't think they know what the hell they're doing when it comes to recording an album. Not to mention the audacity. They thought Kiss Alive worked so well that they would just make P-Funk Alive with the same fucking cover.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, look it up. P-Funk, Parliament Funkadelic Alive. It looks like it might as well be the Kiss album. Anyway, it sounds terrible also. You can't listen to it. The recording is horrible. The only tracks that are listenable are the studio recordings that are supplementing the album.
Oh, weird. I didn't know they did that.
So it's like Casablanca was so on drugs. They were so in over their head with cocaine that I don't think they could hear anymore.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to affect your senses.
I mean, it culminated with fucking Love to Love You, Donna Summers. And what is that?
That's a dirty song.
15 minutes of nonsense. It's nonsense. It's cocaine nonsense.
Older, nonsense has become his favorite word.
These are the people that 5 years before were working with Buzzy Linhart and John Sebastian.
Yes.
And then they realized, we're about to go broke. Let's become complete idiots.
Yeah, folk rock is not making us any money.
So, fucking absurd. Absurd. Look, Parliament's amazing, but those recordings of Casablanca suck.
Wow.
They engineered like crap. Engineered.
All right, well, there you have it.
So Casablanca sucks. Neil Bogart dead because he became a fucking drug addict and poisoned his own body. That's my opinion.
That's his opinion. I'm glad you put that out there. We don't have any money to be sued. We own nothing.
What? I'm not allowed to have an opinion?
No, as long as you said it's my opinion. Yeah. I think we're safe. I believe we are now safe.
What? They're saying. You look it up. Fucking prolonged cocaine use and, early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh, is that true?
And perhaps Parkinson's.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's all related to the nervous system and your immune system on the side.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So go fuck yourself.
Okay, nonsense. If I had to pick a favorite Kiss record, I'd probably have to go with the first one. I Know It Inside and Out. I like all those songs despite what Dave says.
Despite what Paul says.
Despite what Paul and Dave says.
Paul doesn't like it.
Yeah, Paul doesn't like the way it's recorded. He likes the songs. He wouldn't keep singing the songs if he didn't like the songs.
Yes.
But he didn't like the way it was recorded. So that's fine. But Double Platinum was also one of my favorites. I remember getting Double Platinum I don't know. I don't even remember when I got it. I know that I was at a girlfriend's birthday party, and she got Double Platinum, and I was like, oh my God, look at this. Just the Double Platinum was a spectacle. It was all silver and red, and it was a double album, and it was it was just really just an awesome thing to hold. It looked like it was like you were holding something that was a treasure you'd found in
was that a greatest hits
chest.
of their double platinum recordings?
Yeah, it is. It's a.
When did that come out?
I'm going to say that double platinum came out in 78, 79. I mean, I could look it up, but that's my guess. I think it came out either right before or right after Dynasty. I think it came out right before Dynasty. Maybe in between Dynasty and those solo albums.
Dynasty.
Let's see. Dynasty was 79 and Love Gun was 77. I think the solo albums were 78. So let's see when double platinum came out in 78. Okay, there you go. I mean, at that point, the solo albums, Love Gun, double platinum, these were albums that were just printing money for Casablanca.
Wait, they didn't have an album between 78 and 82?
No, this is compilation albums.
Oh.
So they had Unmasked, and they had Music from the Elder, another one I like, and Creatures of the Night, 82. This is right here, right after Dynasty, and I don't care what Paul Stanley thinks. The truth of the matter is that among hardcore Kiss fans, Dynasty is called the disco album.
Is that got I Was Made for Loving You?
Because it's got I Was Made for Loving You, and that's the disco. It's also got a Rolling Stones cover.
Of what?
Well, my name, it is a number. It's on a piece of plastic film.
I don't know what that is.
And I've been growing funny flowers out. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man?
Oh, that's one of their psychedelic rock tunes.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's got that on it.
Instead of
it's got Sure Know Something.
You're what?
Sure Know Something. It's one of those that we were listening today where Paul Stanley starts spouting out like lyrics as if they were prophetic and deep. And you started laughing at the lyrics because you didn't know they were lyrics. You thought he was just saying something absurd and nonsensical. And I said, that's from Sure Know Something. So I've been up and down. I've been all around. And he started
What a fucking dope.
He said, but that's the thing in this book, in this audio book, he's like saying them as if they're like, as if, the masses are hanging on those lyrics, as if they meant something to a generation more than they meant. You know what I mean? To me, it just meant, oh, hey, that's Sure Know Something. It didn't make me stop and think, wow, I've been up and down. I've been all around. Like I've never thought that. What?
I never knew that Kiss was a joke when I was a kid.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
We were all so into our shit that we took music so seriously that we couldn't tell that it was a joke.
Oh.
So to me, I thought it was just morons. I didn't realize it was something other than, I don't know. You seem to see it all as a big joke.
Okay, that is exactly what I thought up until I heard Paul Stanley's audiobook. I literally thought that this band was tongue-in-cheek for Paul and Gene and not for Ace and Peter. I thought they knew what they were doing was not
I think you were in on a joke that didn't exist.
I made up that they were in on a joke, and they were not. Because, look, Christine 16 is a song about a 30-something-year-old man stalking a 16-year-old girl outside of her high school. There's just no way someone could be writing that song and then singing it, in my mind, and thinking, this is real good rock and roll.
Is that a Gene Simmons song?
He sings it. I think Paul Stanley said he came up with the concept, and which is pretty much a Lolita concept, and Gene took it and wrote the song around it, but and sings it. But I mean, come on, that's absurd. That's an absurd concept. And so when I was little and listening to these lyrics, they were so absurd and out there that I thought in my mind that Kiss was almost like Spinal Tap, and that Gene and Paul had hit some really weird, interesting balance.
No, that's actually Frank Zappa.
That appealed
actually is Frank Zappa. Gene's idol. What? Gene's idol is what you're talking about, not Gene.
Yeah, I guess hearing this Face the Music Paul Stanley audiobook has opened my eyes to the fact that it wasn't nearly as tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't tongue-in-cheek at all. It's so I really thought it was.
It's insanely low. How can he think he's such an intellectual when he's so stupidly lowbrow? That's what's ridiculous. He thinks he's God's gift to earth. And he's fucking brain dead.
And the real problem with me is, like, I wouldn't even shit on Paul so much if he hadn't so thoroughly shat on Peter and Ace, who are for me, the heart and soul of the band are Peter and Ace. They're the everyman. It's the same with other bands. When they get rid of members that I feel are like the everyman, I don't like them nearly as much or at all. In Kiss's instance, I stopped listening altogether. I have never and will never go see a Kiss concert without the original 4 lineup. If you're a newer fan and that doesn't bother you, that's fine. You know, there's some people who won't see Van Halen without David Lee Roth. I'm one of those people as well, regardless of any other extenuating circumstances.
They might be assholes, but Dave's lyrics are fucking happening.
Yeah, there's a big difference between songs and whatever.
I Can't Drive 55 is no fucking Unchained.
No, I Can't Drive 55 is a novelty song. Every song that they did with that guy, even if they were popular, I just felt we're not rocking.
How is there even a debate between Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth? How is a band that became... wait.
The debate is with people
Love Walks In again? Is that what it's called? Basically, that song should just end the argument. It's over.
Yeah.
It is over, Johnny. That's,
I feel like this is what it is. I think the people who like...
Why must this be love? Oh, my God.
I think people who like Van Hagar... as opposed to Van Halen.
Finish what you started.
Right now. I feel like those people who like that stuff are younger than us.
Dude, if I want to hear that shit, I'll listen to Journey.
And then why wouldn't you just listen to Journey?
That's what I'm saying.
Journey's way better.
If I want to hear corporate synth rock, I'll listen to Journey.
Yeah. You don't want to listen to Van Halen.
You want to hear fucking, American Led Zeppelin, I'll listen to early Van Halen.
Yeah. I mean... There's a list out there of top 20 Van Halen songs played on the radio, and I believe it's 16 out of the 20 are Dave era.
Jesus.
Of the top 20. So that's
yeah, that 80s 90s shit wears thin quick, man.
No, it's not rocking. It's not it's you know what? The Bonfire with Big J Okerson and what's the other ones?
Dan Soder. They came up with this term called beta rock, and I put Van Hagar firmly in that beta rock category. It's not alpha rock. Alpha rock is David Lee Roth, Van Halen, other real hard rocking, great sounding shit. Zeppelin, but beta rock is something else. REO Speedwagon,
and you can enjoy beta rock, but
Fleetwood Mac.
Oh God, I'm just not a fan of anything from Fleetwood Mac.
I love early Fleetwood Mac, and then Peter Green left, and they became something else. Fleetwood Mac hit America, they lost it. I don't like anything. I don't like it. It's too. Come on, you like Don't Ask Me What I Think of You. You might not like the answer that I tell to you. That song. I don't know that song. Come on. It's called Oh Well. You don't know Oh Well? Why don't you Everybody knows Oh Well. Why don't you sing it to me? Come on, that riff. You don't know that riff? I guess I don't know the riff. Don't ask me what I think of you. You might not. Oh, that's them? Yeah. That's Peter Green. Peter Green fucking wrote Black Magic Woman. Oh, okay. Oh, my God. So, see, this is the thing. Again, here you have a band that was great, and then they lose a member that means something. LSD is a hell of a drug. And, the only band that I like better after they lost their main guy? Styx. No, just kidding. I'm going to beat you senseless. I'm just kidding. It's the opposite. We love Styx with Dennis DeYoung. Pink Floyd. Oh.
I listen to their stuff.
Roger Waters is a miserable cunt. Fuck Roger Waters.
Roger Waters may
You
be
pompous
a miserable cunt. That might be true. But the stuff with Sid Barrett.
Sid Barrett.
Is a little too. It's a little too weird for me. It's not something.
See Emily play.
It's not very uplifting, or you can't sing along to it.
It's definitely. It's unique. It's the unique English psychedelic dark sound.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Okay.
Who likes that? What are you, nuts? A lot of people like
do.
it, I tell you.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people do.
It spawned a whole generation of musicians. Okay, so excuse me.
Okay.
A lot of people idolize him, like the whole punk generation.
Oh, is that true?
Sid Barrett?
The punks, I don't know much about the punk generation.
Sid Barrett's kind of like, prototype Sid Vicious.
I mean, he was a very handsome young man. I see those pictures of a young Sid Barrett. Very handsome.
Sid Barrett, yes. What a shame.
Anyway, yeah. So it's not every time that when a band loses a key member that they become.
How about
yes?
Beach Boys without Brian Wilson? Boy, that Mike Love, let me tell you.
Were they?
No, but they had to tour without. They went on tour without Brian Wilson.
Is that when
he stayed home and made the hits, and they would go tour without him?
Well, maybe he didn't want to go. Maybe
it's hard to get your feet out of the sandbox. When you have a sandbox encased around your piano in your living room.
Listen, this is the problem.
LSD is a hell of a drug.
I've taken LSD, not recently, but I've never had that. So I feel like his journey may have been enhanced by it, but I don't think it was caused by it.
It's just certain people trigger some shit and they never come back.
Yeah, I have come back. I always came back.
I don't think you ever left.
Well, I'm just saying I did a lot of acid.
That's it. Gotcha.
So, and I never had that, what is it, a burnout type of thing where they really become different.
Frazzled, just fried.
Yeah, fried. Yeah. I never had that. I wonder if that's not already there.
Hey, come on now. I got one for you.
Okay.
Michael McDonald and the Doobie Brothers. Boom. Comes in, takes over for that other guy. Before you know it, they're a whole different band.
Okay.
Better or maybe.
A better band? Tell me a Doobie before and an after.
All right. Before is Old Black Water. Keep on.
Water, keep on.
And that other one, China Grove. China Grove.
China Grove.
That's that other guy, Pete or something, whatever his name is. Brian, something. I can't remember. What's his name?
I don't know.
Johnston, something.
Okay.
Anyway, he was the lead singer, and then he stopped for whatever reason, and they got Michael McDonald, completely different band.
And what was the hit there?
Maybe now they have both again. I'm not sure. Michael McDonald?
Tell me a Doobie Brother hit with Michael McDonald.
What
you doing? Are you okay over there? What song is that? That's not a hit.
Yeah, that's the one.
That one?
Yeah.
What a fool believes.
Exactly. Fool believes. Is that Doobie Brothers or is that Michael McDonald solo?
That's right. I'm thinking that's Michael McDonald solo.
It all sounds the same. How about Taking It to the Streets?
Taking It to the
Taking
That's
It to the
Doobie
Streets?
Brothers? I think that's Michael McDonald.
Nope, that's Doobie Brothers.
Oh, okay.
And they got another one with him too. Anyway, yeah, totally different band.
Who did Walk of Life?
I know the song, but now I'm just stuck for a second. It's I should know right off the bat. Oh, fucking Dire Straits.
Okay.
The Knopfler brothers.
The other. Okay, I knew they were brothers. Okay, I'm happy.
Tell me something.
Oh, right.
What's happening at the pier in New York City right now?
I don't know why. You tell me.
Are there concerts on the pier?
There might be. I don't know. You might be able to rent the pier.
No. There's a whole series going on now. I thought there was some good stuff happening there.
Well, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't go.
I'm just saying, if you're in that area, you go check them out.
All right. So, it looks like the last album Kiss released was in 2012.
What's that called? The Nobody Cares Tour?
The 2012, the Monster Tour. It's sold 200,000 copies.
That's pretty bad.
Is it?
I don't know.
In 2012, in the time where people are downloading and not buying jack shit.
Yeah, whatever. What's gold? $1 million?
I thought
500,000?
maybe.
I think gold's 500 and platinum's $1 million. I think silver's 250, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. The Psycho Circus went gold in 1998.
We had that.
Yeah. Carnival of Souls.
Is that a Psycho Circus? Is that a live album, or was that new material?
I think it was new material. I think we got it, and I think we heard Psycho Circus, but I don't know any other songs on it. I think Revenge did well. This right here, Hot in the Shade, I think that gave them their first real number one. What was the song? It was like Hide Your Heart. Better hide your heart. I
don't think I know that.
Oh, maybe it was Forever. One of them did really well. Let's see.
I like God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Their cover of that.
That's from the first one, right?
Oh no, it's what first what?
Their first record?
No, I think that's the first record without the makeup on or something. No, it's from the 90s.
Oh, is it Lick It Up?
I don't know. I just thought it was not a bad version of that song.
Well,
wait, no. Listening to Paul Stanley, I believe that might be the last track that Eric Carr wanted to play on, but they didn't let him play because he was sick.
Aww.
He's in the video, though. That's what that is.
That sucks. The whole Eric Carr thing is really sad. He, as a Kiss fan, when Peter Criss left, I was upset. But Eric Carr was so good and seemed like such a good dude that
Eric Carr is a good player.
Yeah, you weren't they were totally different, and he had the fucking wherewithal to say, I need different makeup. I am not going to wear Peter Criss's makeup. And I think that's the other problem them today, is that they have two interlopers who
there's that word.
Interlopers? Is that a bad word?
No, it's been used in politics a lot these days.
Oh.
Interloper!
They have these two interlopers who are wearing makeup that is the classic lineup, and I don't like that. I think that's fucking shitty.
It's a mockery of a sham.
It's a mockery of a sham. Anyway, so studio albums, they have 20. Live albums, they have 8. Compilation albums, they have 13. They have 8 box sets, plus the 4 solo albums.
Is this including the coffin? The coffin gift set?
That's a different kind of box.
Oh.
But, yeah, I mean, I feel like they put out a lot of shit.
Well,
I think
they are what they are.
I'm trying to think that we did buy Psycho Circus, but I think I had stopped buying. No, you know what? I remember buying Revenge. I lived in Long Island. I did buy it, so I'm a liar. I wanted to say I stopped buying when those guys weren't in there, but I see that I did buy Revenge. I don't remember the songs on it, but I remember it was a all black cover. So Psycho Circus was the last one we bought. I did drag you to see them with me too. In was it the 96 reunion tour?
Yes.
I did drag you to see that with me. All right, so I guess do you have any parting words? You seem like you're all kissed out.
Yes, it's too much kiss now.
Okay. Dave likes to tell me when we've talked about something for too long. And apparently now he has hit his kiss limit. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this walk down a kiss-tory memory lane. And if you want to check us out, we have the website, middleagedcoolkids.com. You can follow us, really just me, on Twitter, @middleagedcool. You can leave comments in the YouTube, and I will let Dave know that you've spoken. And you can subscribe on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, and Google Play. I think we've got it all covered now. All right. If there's something you'd like us to talk about, please do let us know. middleagedcoolkids@gmail.com. We will see you next week, party people.
Goodbye.
I roomed with Ace in a 2-story bungalow off in a private section of the grounds. Jean roomed with Peter. Each bungalow had 2 levels and several bedrooms and bathrooms. The first day, Ace went out for a walk and I decided to take a shower. While I was in there, the bathroom started to smell horrible. I pulled open the curtain to see what it could be, and there was Ace sitting on the toilet taking a dump. He looked up. "What are you doing in here?" I yelled. There were other bathrooms in the place after all. He just shrugged. Ace was odd.